I'm using a 5mm hook and standard worsted weight size 4 yarn. I'm using the Hobby Lobby. You are going to start with a magic circle with 6 stitches, or chain 2 and turn and make 6, and you're going to increase 6 stitches each row until you have 7 rows done and a total of 42 stitches. Also, I did stagger my increases every other row to give me more of a circular shape and not so angular. So for row 8 and 9, we're just going to single crochet around, no increase or decrease. 9 rows done, still at 42 stitches. So for the 10th row, the last row, we are going to decrease 6 stitches spaced evenly. 10 rows done, 36 total stitches. Now I'm going to give a pretty long tail because I know I'm sewing it up next, but I'm not sure exactly how much I'll need. So I'll leave it a little bit long and turn this inside out, or right side out. Make 17 total. Okay, so remember that each of these circles has 36 stitches around the edge. So I'm going to take the string from the center one, I'm going to crochet 1 row around, and I'm going to pick up 6. So I'll stitch 6 of these together, and then 6 of these, 6 of these, and each of these to form my first circle. I am going through front and back loop for both of them, so I'll do 6 of these. There's 6, and it's a little hard to see, but I am starting just on the back side of this, where I left off here, and I'll do the next one. So see, this is where I left off, so I'm going to start pick up right on this one. There's the second one attached, so you can see that leaves this piece right here, so I can stitch these ones out. So I'll go ahead and put the rest of them on. So I have 3 on, and I'm starting to run out of this tail. Like I said before, I wasn't sure how long I needed them because I wasn't sure what I was doing. So I'm going to take this next one and cheat a little bit and just pick this one up and continue with the other 3. Okay, so there's that first round all attached. It's coming out pretty good, I think. So now I'm just going to take each of these and I'm going to stitch together these 6 in the same way. 6, 6, 6 on each of those. Okay, so this stitch here is the last decrease from when I made the circle. So if I take that one out and then hook this through this one, and both of those seems to work best. So I pulled out that last decrease, picked this one up, and I'm putting that decrease back in as my first stitch. And then after the 6, I'm just pulling this up and through, and pulling this whole thing snug and through. Just pull that tight just to secure that down. Because all of this is going to be on the inside, so it doesn't have to be beautiful. It just has to get the job done. Okay, so I have sewn up these 5 spaces here. And I've not done this one because I used that string earlier to finish the circle. So I'm going to use this extra yarn that I have and sew that up the 6. And then I can continue that around to sew on the next round of circles. Okay, so I have the first row all sewn on, and I have a total of 108 stitches all around the edge. And now I have 10 circles going on the next section, so the 108 is going to be divided between the 10 to attach, which is going to be 11 stitches per outer circle, except for 2 of them, which is going to be 10 stitches for those 2. So you're just dividing it as evenly as you can, and I'm going to start right with this one in the center and put 5 on that, and then I'll do 11 on the next, 11 on the next, and I'll make sure the 2 that are straight across from each other will have 10, probably the one I'm attaching, and the one directly opposite. So I'm going to do the same thing with this next row as I pick up the circles. I'm going to start just behind where I left off making the circle itself so that I can use that piece to close it up, same as I did on the last round. So I have the first 3 on, and you can see it's kind of curling up a bit, which is great. That's exactly what we want. So I'm just going to go ahead and attach the rest of them. I did notice at the corners I had a little bit of a gap. either pay attention and you can try to pick up a couple extra threads as you go to prevent that. I'll just go back and close them up with some extra yarn or something. There is that, they're all attached. It looks pretty messy right now, but what I'm going to do is take each of these and I'm going to stitch up 6, 7, or 8 stitches or so, we'll see, on each of those. And then after those are all done, I'm just going to weave in all of these ends. Okay, so when stitching up all of these little pieces out to the edge here, I have this one here, and I actually pull this one stitch out so that I can attach this one to this one. And I realize that when I pull this out, that's actually the last decrease I did. So if I just work ahead normally, it actually adds another stitch onto here, but that's okay. I'm making up as I go, and that's just one of those things that's not a big deal. So we will just go ahead and stitch these together, and we're gonna do 10 on each of these. And you can see I done all the rest of them, and it pulls it up nice and snug. So I will just do the 10 stitches on that last one. So I'll just secure all of these ends and weave in anything I need to and clean up the inside, and then we can move on. For the face, I'm going to take the rest of my yarn and I'm going to start a flat circle with a magic circle, increase 6 stitches every row. Okay, so I ended up doing 17 rows here, which is 102 stitches around. I'm not going to sew it in yet, but when I do, I'm going to take that and divide it by the 10 poofs and just sew it in there as evenly as I can. But first, we need to put the face on. For the eyes and nose, just make a magic circle, 1 row, 6 stitches. Then you just sew those 3 pieces on. As you sew it, you can shape the nose a little bit if you want to. And then after that, the rest of the face, the mouth, the cheek blush, and the eyebrows are just going to be single crocheted directly onto the face. So for the ears, row 1 is going to be a magic circle with 6 stitches. Row 2, you will increase 6 stitches. Row 3, you will just single crochet around. And you are going to repeat row 2 and 3 times. So you will keep going until you have 24 stitches total. I have 24 stitches around, 7 rows total. And now I'm going to do 3 more rows with no increase or decrease, just go around. 10 total rows, just do 1 slip stitch and pull it through to finish. We have 2 ears. Okay, so I have all of the pieces for sewing the head. I've got the head fluffies, the face, and 2 ears. Now, we want to make sure to find the place where the 2 outer line up perfectly with this one. So you see they all meet right in the middle and make kind of like a perfect triangle of those 3. That's what you want to be your bottom center. So I'll make sure that's lined up with that, which makes this the top. This is the top center. So I'm going to put the ears between the 2 and the next one. So I'll put a little bit of stuffing in and then sew those in that space there. So I'll do the ears first. So there's the top center of the head. You can see I'm just going through both layers of this. I've got a little bit of stuffing in there and I'm just sewing it right into the seam right along here. So then just stuff up his face and sew it on. And that'll be it for the head part of it. Sorry about the bad quality of sound on this one. It's been a while since I've had to do it this way. But it's been a little crazy at the house right now. So that's his head. I'm super happy with how it came out. Part 2, the body I am working on, will be done by Christmas. So the video will be out shortly after that. And there is his head. Super happy with how it came out. We've got the 10 fluffs around. I think these 2 will end up being hidden, but I'll do that on the next video. His ears could have been a little bit longer. Maybe put a few more rows there so they show up a little better. that is part one for his head.